Connecting. Welcome. I am so excited. I have the beautiful Saffron here with me today. So Saffron is an amazing client of mine who we've actually done mutual work together. So I'm a client of hers and she's a client of mine. She is a beautiful graphic designer and she is the owner and CEO of Saffron and Co.
all that jazz.
All of that jazz. So I'm excited. We're just going to have a bit of a chat. I just wanted to check in with Saf to see kind of where she is at since we have had our healing session together and and just kind of see where the conversation takes us. So welcome, Saf. I'm excited to have you here today.
I just love the sage burning in the front of you.
I know, right? I was like
it's like, are you real or are you apparition?
Ooh.
Love it.
I love it so much because as before we jumped onto the call, we were like, okay, we just need to ground ourselves and just clear before we jump into this. So I lit some sage, and those of you who follow me and know me, I love my sage. So we did that. So Saf, I wanted to touch base with you.
Yes.
So last year would have probably been maybe about 6 months ago, 5-6 months ago, somewhere.
I feel like it was a little bit. I feel like it was February, March this year.
Oh gosh. Okay. So almost a year ago, we had the opportunity to connect, and you had the opportunity to do my website for me. Love it, by the way. If you haven't checked out my website, that is Saf and her team's handiworks. Love that so much. But we also had the opportunity to do a deep dive healing session together. So a shamanic session, and we worked through I guess just I'd love to actually
everything.
Hear we worked through everything. We did so much. So I would love to hear your explanation around the session itself, how that session really empowered you, and what you experienced from your point of view.
It was nothing like I've ever done before, that's for sure. I've done heaps. I've gone and seen a lot of people for like a tarot card reading or a healing session, all those sort of things, but your session was very like I really felt like immediately I felt lighter afterwards. So that was beautiful. Like it was a beautiful shift. When I sat down with you, I remember feeling very overwhelmed at that point of the year as well. Like we just moved into the brand new office and I was having a lot of self-doubt. I was having a lot of imposter syndrome things happening. And I think after the past couple of years of being in lockdowns and working at home, and then it was just like, okay, shit's got real. We've got to like really make this work. And it was just a lot of pressure on myself. And after our session, I just felt immediately like it's all going to be okay. I physically felt lighter. That was really nice. Like, and I remember you saying, you're going to sleep really well tonight. And I just think I just drifted off to sleep like a baby. And it was really nice. And I feel like, and for the whole week afterwards, I was just so like, and it wasn't, I tried to explain it to a few friends of mine because obviously like it's such a huge thing and people are like, oh, so how are you? And the first thing I could think of was, well, I like had this huge session with this chick, Ashley. And like the other thing is too, like before doing this with you, I'm like, I was very closed-minded on the fact that it could be done on Zoom. Like I was like, no, you have to be with that person. And like, I mean, even the part of the healing that you did, I can't remember what you called it. Like this, it was like psychic surgery or something.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Yeah.
I just took it in, but it was crazy. Like, and I was like, years ago, if you said to me, it's all going to be done on Zoom, I'd be like, no, that can't work. That's not going to work. Like you've got to be there physically in the same room. But I mean, I remember because there was a part where you said, yeah, I'm going to go away now and I'm going to do the healing session part. You lie down and you can do whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with. So I did a meditation, and that was so nice. And I remember then, yeah, I did feel some little twings and twangs around my body. And then we got back and you were like, well, and I said, oh, I felt something on my back, and you were like, yes, I actually worked in there and I worked on that. And I'm like, this is just insane. So it was really, really good. But I suppose, yeah, I just learned so much about myself and didn't realize that I had buried a lot of stuff from my childhood. And, you know, you're like, I mean, it goes deep really quick.
Yeah, I don't do light minutes. I was crying.
Yeah, it was just like, and boom, and I'm like, okay, we're going here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess so. For people that haven't done this with you yet, it's not scary. It's not like, how can I explain it? It's so like, you're so light as a person. So I feel like you have so much love to give as well, that I immediately felt comfortable with you and felt like you had my back and you were just trying to have my best interests in mind, I guess. Like, so I just felt very protected. So I wasn't, even though some of the stuff you were saying was pretty like my past life stuff and everything, I was like, this is so huge, but you have a way of delivering it that seems very like, just go make yourself a cup of tea. So effortless. And so I remember there was a few times you said some stuff and I was like, that is like huge. My brain is trying to like, can just deal with that. And you're just like, it's nothing because you're just getting messages. So it's just like nothing. So, yeah, I think, but the long-term effects of that and the healing that you get from it, that you don't even realize you needed, like I didn't even realize it, was like nothing I could have experienced any way else. So yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And you know, I feel that it's so important as well. And I love what you said, the fact that it just felt so easy to receive the information as well, because that, you know, like for me, it's always so important that I'm creating a safe space for you to be able to go deep, because I don't do surface level, and shamanic work is not about surface level, right? So I want to find that root cause. I want to find what is driving these blocks, or the, you know, the self-doubt or the self-sabotage or whatever it is that we're working on. I want to find that. And sometimes that does mean unlocking some things from the past, whether that's past life or whether that's childhood. And, you know, even as you experienced as well, like really unlocking that has had massive ripple effects of change. But it is a bit of a mind boggle when it's kind of all coming up and you're like, I haven't thought about this in years. I didn't even think that that event was a big deal from the adult version of our brains. Right. But from that child's version, that was actually completely life-changing and massive. So I love, so thank you for those kind words. That's really beautiful. And I'm glad that that energy has come across, that, you know, it's about empowering you. I'm not here to fix something for you. It's about giving you the tools and supporting you in processing that information. So you mentioned that you have noticed a lot of long-term changes and effects as well. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, heaps. Like in my personal life, so other than professional stuff that I do, like personal life, like, you know, there was a lot to do there with my husband and our relationship, which is, as you know, like everything impacts everything. So if that's not harmonious, then this gets stuffed up and all this sort of thing. So you do need to have everything in balance.
Yeah.
And I think just even like the masculine, feminine energy that you were talking about was really, really helpful for me, being like to look at him a little bit kinder, and sort of, sometimes I forget that, you know, yes, he's a guy and everything, but it was nice to sort of look at him and go, oh, you know, yeah, like just the part that you were like, you were a guy in your past life and he was a female. So I'm like, yeah, that explains a lot of why we are constantly sort of like to and froing a lot in our relationship. Yep. And there's a bit of battle for like, who's going to win this argument? Who's going to win this? Who's going to win that? And I'm like, both of us are very similar, but then so different. But it's made me have a little bit more empathy for some of the things that he does and the reasons why he does stuff. And then in turn, of course, that ripple effect is that he's then going, oh, well, I have a nicer wife. So obviously he's going to be nicer and kinder as well. So there's that wonderful part of that side of it. Business-wise, I mean, the probably most significant part of the whole thing was that, you were like, oh, there's something wrong, not wrong, but something hindering your throat, and you're finding it hard to say things, and I'm like even, and this is the thing, like even if people are like, oh, so skeptical and like, oh, that's a load of BS or whatever, I think even just the placebo effect of knowing that if something has been removed as well has just made me go, yeah, I can do whatever I want now. So so I felt a lot more comfortable in meetings, being a lot more assertive but diplomatic. I think for years I was so scared of saying no and, oh, like this can't be done, because I feel like it would come across aggressive. Whereas now I just feel like, nah, it's been removed, so I can say what I want now. And it is coming out a lot clearer. And I feel like, especially in the position I'm in, which is like I have meetings every week, like numerous meetings all the time, which can drain me as well. But I'm coming out of the meetings feeling a lot more confident and a lot like I feel like I have a lot more clarity with what I'm talking about. And then for like I did my first public speaking gig, like what was it, 2 weeks ago, I think now.
Congratulations.
A week and a half ago. Yeah, so that was huge for me. Like I love it, and I've got so much to share with people, and I love inspiring people. But for the past couple of years, it's just been like, oh, I can't do it. I just can't. I can't get out there and do it, and I'm going to be so nervous, and I'm going to lose sleep. And I think, like, my brother and sister rang me after, and they were like, how'd you go? And I said, really, really well. I said, it went better than I thought. And I said, but the best part was that for years I've been like, I can't say yes to it because I'll lose sleep over it. But I actually got a really good night's sleep the night before. So that was a massive win, because because when I'm actually guest speaking, I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's the build up, it's the overwhelm beforehand that I just go, oh, it's not worth not sleeping over. But I really, to wake up in the morning and go, wow, I actually had 7 hours sleep last night. Like, this is a massive win. So that was beautiful. And I had like a whole queue of people wanting to speak to me afterwards. So I'm like, that's the benefit of guest speaking, as you know.
Yeah.
So just people going, oh, well, we know her now. We can actually, she's friendly. We can go and chat to her. So that was the beautiful part about that. And I'm about to launch my membership, which I don't think I would have done either.
Yeah.
So as you can see, this is why I was busting to come and chat to you about like the effects of it, because I'm like, it's really, really good, especially for women in business, where there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And like everyone's like, oh, just start a business up, it'll be fun, you get to do your own hours, you get to do this, and like there's still a lot of pressure and a lot of pressure in the background to make it work, constantly make it work.
Yeah. And I think that's a very important thing to remember, that, we do have this, it's almost like a fairy tale idea of what it's going to be like when we go into business for ourselves. And yes, there is definitely those benefits of being able to set your own hours and having the flexibility and the freedom and doing all of those things. However, like you said before, if things are not in balance, if there's other things going on in your personal life, and there's that little voice inside, that self-saboteur or that imposter syndrome or any of that stuff sitting in your energy fields, that's going to have that ripple effect, that when you are putting yourself out there and you're doing the work and you're doing the business side of things, that all plays a massive effect on how you're coming across to your audience and how you are engaging with your clients that you have. Right? So when you can
100%,
be in your power, and whether it's the the placebo effect of just knowing that those things have been removed, that it is energetic, that we are pulling those things out, but in our minds we're like, okay, well, that thing is being removed. So it mentally, in our brains, it removes those blocks, and it allows us to go, okay, all right, that's no longer there, so now I can actually do this. Because sometimes it is mental, right? But when we remove that energetic, it helps that mental side of us go, oh, okay, well, I am actually capable of doing these things now.
Yeah, so I think probably the whole theme of our session was communication. That would be the whole theme of it. Like, I feel like, it was funny because I didn't realize that I even had those issues. I didn't realize, like, until you said, oh, you're struggling to get things out, or people are not, like, you're speaking, but it's coming out almost like another language. I didn't really realize that. And then once you said that, I was like, okay, that might be the reason why I've been struggling with this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And then once that was all cleared, it just became like, what's really nice, Ash? Like, when you are overwhelmed and you're constantly thinking about things, and then just to wake up and just be like, I could just go to work and I could just do my thing. I could just be your mum. And it's really nice not to think about like everything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the effect that it had. Like, it was all very subconscious, and nice to just go back to being in a flow again.
Yeah. That's really beautiful. And because you also have a team as well, Saffron. So what ripple effects did you notice after our session through your team?
I don't know, probably just clearer communication and less issues. I'm really lucky. I've always sort of had a really nice team environment anyway. So I hear other stories and I'm like, oh God, I would not cope with that. I've not really had much issues with them beforehand anyway, but I'd say probably I've just been a lot calmer. So that's probably just been the best part for them. They wouldn't tell me, but that's probably what they probably noticed that.
Saf's a bit more calm, even though she's got 1,000,001 things on the go at the moment. So you mentioned you're starting a membership.
Yes. So that's, I know. I just got to the point where I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I suppose my confidence has gone up. So I was like, a couple of months ago, I just went, I really, like, what is the most enjoyable part of my job? And I'm going, that's the part that, like, yes, where we hand everything over to our clients and they see the change and they see how beautiful everything is. But what I really get enjoyment out of is actually helping clients meet those goals or targets. So, we've been designing websites. I've been designing websites now for 25 years.
Wow.
So I started designing websites when they first started. Like, I'm talking old school, beginning days, like 4-page websites, very, very minimal. And now it's like, it's all about Google and all that other stuff. So I've just got to the point where I'm not enjoying giving a client a website anymore unless I can help them how to on how to market their website, how to get more leads from it, how to actually make money through the website. So that's part of the membership. And a lot of people have no idea and completely overwhelmed with social media marketing. Yeah. Especially when they're running their own business. Like, it's just, it's that whole thing of everyone's like, when you start a business up, yes, you're going to have to wear all these hats and everything. But if it's not your particular thing that you really enjoy or understand at all, like my mum's beauty therapist, aromatherapist, and she's said to me, she's just like, oh, social media. Yeah. And I get it. It would be like, years ago, it'd be like putting your own ad in the newspaper and designing it yourself and promoting yourself constantly. And it's very hard for people to do that.
It is. It's draining.
I want to inspire people to do it and to get rewards from it and ultimately run their business and remember why they started it in the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's my membership. It's going to be just ongoing support basically with your business.
Yeah, which is really powerful because when you do start your own business and you're on your own, even if you only have a small team or if you're just doing everything yourself, it's a lot. Like you said, you're having to wear all of these other hats. And I feel that that's a lot of things that people don't see is that you're having to be your accountant, you're having to be your marketing person, you're having to be the copywriter, you're having to be the designer, you're having to be the, you know, the social media presence. Like there's so many back end things that you know, that's like a day or two a week just in itself.
Yeah.
Plus also seeing clients. So it's, you know, it's a lot. So what would your top 3 tips be for women who have either just started out in their business or have been in their business for a while, but have been feeling that pressure from everything else?
So for women that are just starting up, I'd say definitely making sure that you've got the support of your family and friends. And if you don't have any friends that have businesses, try and join a networking group for that reason. And that can be online as well. You need, like I have a lot of friends that don't run businesses, and I have my group of friends that do. And I definitely, it's just, not one is better than the other, but I really need both. Like I need to not talk about business to these women, and I need to have those extreme business chats with others, or like those times where you're having a bit of a crappy day and you're just like, oh, I need to debrief with you. You need that. And your non-business friends will not understand it, and they'll be saying to you, oh, it's too much stress. Just go work at Big W. Like,
no, thank you.
So you need those friends. And if you get to a point, like I totally understand that when you're starting out in the beginning and you're you know, trying to run on a very, very small budget to try and make some money in and everything. But I think definitely creating a really easy to manage goal to begin with. So for what I did was, you know, because the day that I quit my job, we had only just put our secured our mortgage, like I think for like the week before that, we just got our mortgage. And I just, Aries, classic Aries, I literally just woke up and went, I cannot do this anymore, I have to leave. And I broke down in tears to my husband and said, you know, I really just, I can't do this anymore, I really just want to go. I just feel like I no longer feel like I work with this company anymore. And he said, well, why don't you just start up a business from home? And I was like, well, yeah, because I know I could do a better job. He didn't think though that I was going to do it the next day. So literally, like I just got the green light and I was like, great. So I literally walked in and went, I'm done, I'm resigning, here's my letter. I just was like, once I make my mind up, that's it. So
it's beautiful. And I think just on that note as well, Saf, is that for anyone who's listening to this, there is no perfect or right time to leave your job and to start your business. And if you are looking for that right time, you are always going to find a reason why not to do it. So sometimes you just need to go, you know what, I'm going to take that leap of faith and I'm just going to do it.
Yep, 100%. And I feel like that with everything, having a baby, everything, all that stuff. There is no right time. You just got to just go with the flow. But so then I remember my husband saying, oh my God, like I resigned, and I was so happy. I was dancing around the house. He's going, what are we going to do about the mortgage? And I said, right, what's the minimum that you would like me to bring in a week? So I know. And he said at the time, so this was 15 years ago now that I've had my own business. 15 years ago, he said $500 per week to put towards the mortgage, and then we'll be good. So my target was $500 a week, no more, no less, because I was just like, if I aim for 1,000, I'm probably going to disappoint myself and put too much pressure on myself. So this is still my advice today. I always say to women, when you quit your job, just put a number out there so that you know what the expectation is, because you'll need the support of your partner as well. He's going to be going, he or she is going to be going, like, how can we do this on $200 a week? So I knew I could do $500, and I did that. And then whatever I made on top of that went back into the business. And then I also got to spend that as my own wage anyway. So that would be my number 2 advice. And 3 is, once you hit the point where you are working more than you would work for someone else, you need to delegate and you need to outsource and get some help.
Most definitely. I know I'm in the process of that right now, of going, okay, what can I delegate? Where can I get that support? Yes. Yeah, I think that's
so
very, very valuable advice.
It takes a bit of time in the beginning to set it up, but then once you do, it's beautiful. So yeah.
And I think on that note as well, knowing that sometimes when you are delegating things, it might not be to a person, it might be to a system. So it might be to like that automating some things that you just then don't have to think about. It takes a bit of work to set it up, but then when it's done, it's done. You don't have to.
And you did say to me, and women that have been in business for a while, same thing. Yeah, just delegate.
Delegate.
Delegate. You have to. You don't want to be burnt out, and if you do get burnt out, you need to go see Ash.
Yes, come see me. I'm a queen of helping people through burnout. It's definitely been a big lesson of mine in this lifetime, of that burnout stuff. And so that's really where, you know, a lot of my medicine is helping women recognize burnout and understanding burnout and how to shift through that burnout without burning out.
I know. I was going to say trying to get them to go to you before they get to that point as well.
Yes. It's a lot less work when you come beforehand. Yes.
So can I ask you some questions now?
Yes, please do.
Okay. So when you came to us, you already had a brand design and you already had a website. So I was going to ask you, so how did you feel during the process when you were working with us?
I think for me, the biggest thing is that I was being heard. You know, because a big part of my brand is really about women being seen and being heard. And that was one thing through the entire process, that there was always communication that was happening back and forth, and that anything that I was questioning or had ideas about or wanted more information about, like it wasn't just brushed aside and going, oh no, that's not going to work. It was very much, okay, yeah, I hear, like, it's like, I hear what you're saying. Okay, great. Well, how can we work with that? Or, you know, I think that there was a few things that it's like, oh, you know, that might not quite work exactly how we want it to, but let's find a way that we can make it work together. So I feel like there, you know, and for me, going from, because the website that I had designed, that I had previous coming to you, I had done myself. Which it was a good website, but I just knew that I needed to take it to that next level. I was ready to take it to that next level. And from a business owner point of view, that's sometimes really scary, handing over your life's work to someone else and essentially going, here, create something magical. This is scary because I don't like to give up that control. But knowing that I had a team of like-minded women who were supportive in my vision, even though some of them I don't think really quite got that side of things of what I do, but they were still very curious and they wanted to know more, and they were very supportive in that. So yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
That's beautiful. So I was going to ask you, so once you had everything, because a big part of what, like, there's the ripple, so I say the ripple effect all the time as well, because there is a ripple effect after you get everything done as well. But one part that I don't think a lot of business people realize is that there's a certain amount of confidence you gain from everything. So once you had everything updated and the website looked amazing and all that stuff, so I'll go through the practicality of that after this, but did you feel, how confident did you feel then being able to to market yourself?
It felt so much easier to actually put myself out there, because I knew that all of the links on my website worked properly, which was great. So I knew if I was putting, like, sending clients to there, that it was going to be a very easy, user-friendly experience for them to be able to get from point A to point B. And for me, as a consumer, one thing that I've always found is that first thing I do is I go and look at someone's website. And if I don't resonate with their website, or it feels very clunky, for me, it's a no. And that's just my own personal thing. So I think for me, knowing that, okay, I had this amazing website it just radiated, that I think some of the words that I used to you, what I wanted to create for that website is that for when people went onto my website is that they felt welcomed, that they were coming into a sacred space, that it felt inclusive, it felt, very welcoming and safe. And when I launched the website and I actually had feedback from people going, oh my goodness, I got onto your website and I just felt like I was in another world. I felt like I was, I was like, oh my goodness, they nailed it. I love it. So, and I think too,
because I was going to say, we put a lot more. It's funny, even though you designed your own website, you didn't actually put a lot of you into it. Yeah. It was probably more the words it was more probably the words. So, because I think you're a very good writer, but visually, that's where I feel like we put more of you into it. So that's where it reflected what you were saying. Yeah. Okay.
So I just, and it was a lot easier to, like you say, to actually market yourself, because you know that it's a space that people can just go to and find everything that they need to find.
Oh, that's really cool. So last question. So from where you were before you saw us to where you are now, do you feel like we helped you in any part of that journey?
Massively, because I had no idea what SEOs were, or like how to actually bloody put an SEO together, or how to, I think one of the things that I really got out of it was, after the website was designed, you and I sat down for a call afterwards of going, okay, these are actually the ways that you can get yourself ranked higher on Google without having to spend a lot of money on ads and doing all of that kind of stuff. And that was really powerful for me, because where I was at that stage in my business is, okay, I know I need to invest more money in my business, but things were tight. So not having to spend a lot of money to get higher ranked on Google was definitely beneficial. And I think that's really where you're going with your membership as well, is in that direction of teaching that in a more in depth. And that was just a quick little, I think it was like a 20-minute call of going, here's some quick little tips that you can do. And that was really powerful as well, just to be able to implement some of those things that didn't feel super techy or really out of my comfort zone, that were easy to implement, which was really powerful. But yeah, it's definitely allowed a massive expansion, because even doing the website for me, that felt like a big quantum leap of just even saying to the universe, okay, I'm ready for that next stage, I'm ready for that next level in my business. And I feel like the website was really a big driver in that as well.
That's beautiful. Yep, that's I'm just sitting here going, this is the most positive Zoom call I've ever done. Just sit here and tell each other compliments. It's beautiful. Right?
Just soak it in. But again, as business owners, because we don't have anybody to tell us these things, right?
I know.
So that's where the networking comes in, and having that mastermind, and having a space of people, of humans that are going, hey, you got this, it's okay, you're doing amazing, because we're hard on ourselves. And even if you don't have a business, we're still hard on ourselves. So sometimes we just need to hear those beautiful little tidbits. So
100%. Yes.
Well, Saf, was there anything else that you wanted to add onto our call around working together, or anything like that?
No, I probably will, I'm just sitting here going, yes, I think that it would be an annual thing for me. Like, I feel like it'll be nice. I couldn't commit to the monthly subscription or anything like that with you, because I'm so busy. And I know you need to make time, but I do do a lot of exercise, and that's where I think the mental health side for me happens. But I would love to do a yearly check-in with you, and I'm still always promoting you because I just think you're amazing. But I just feel like for women that already get your vibe and already know you, 100% need to be surrounded by your energy all the time, because I just feel like you're just so real and authentic.
Thank you.
And it's just a beautiful place, a beautiful space and place to be with you in that sort of things. And I think, again, what you were just saying, women in business, we are very goal driven, and there's just there's a lot of thoughts that happen constantly. So you kind of, we always joke as businessmen going on, you never really turn your brain off. You constantly
Yep.
like the clock might go 5 o'clock and the day's over, but you're still thinking about stuff. You're constantly
Yep.
thinking. So what you offer is almost that, like a space to just let go of all that clutter and really realign again with your vision and your goals for the next thing you've got happening. So the next goal or whatever. And it's really important to come back and align yourself with that as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Oh, thank you so much. This was such a beautiful and empowering chat as well. So in the video below, I'm going to pop all of Saffron's details, and she's going to give me a little link to her membership as well, and I'll put that in the video for you. And also as well for if you want to experience what Saffron has experienced, there's 2 ways that you can work with me. So Saff had a deep dive session, which is a 2.5-ish hour session that really allows us to go really quite deep in the shamanic healing. There is also the option for some follow-up coaching with that as well. If you are feeling that you're wanting a more intensive, like really going deep and really creating shifts and changes, and you've got the time to dedicate to really doing that, I do also have a 3-month sacred container as well, where we do work together quite intensely for that 3 months. And then there is also my membership, which I feel is a different call that we can talk about, but all of the information is on my website that the beautiful Saffron has created. It's all there. But yes, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or to Saffron, and we're always happy to help empower more people. That's really what we're here to do. It just in different formats and different ways. So definitely beautiful. Well, thank you so much. That was absolutely beautiful, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.
Okay, thanks, Ash. Speak to you later. Bye.